Old Pete was just a bundle of rags and coughs in the corner booth, fading out of the world right there in the saloon. Nobody paid him any mind, nobody except Sarah. She had a kindness in her eyes that you didn't see much in a place like this. She brought him a glass of water, gently wiped the sweat from his brow. Meanwhile, Pete's partner, Jake, paced like a caged wolf. He was just waiting, reeking of cheap whiskey and impatience, for the old man to finally give up the ghost and the location of their secret gold claim. Pete's hand, thin as old paper, reached out and found Sarah's. He slipped a folded, worn map into her palm, his movements quick and hidden from Jake's prying eyes. "For the town," he rasped, his gaze fixed on hers. "Not him." And then he was gone. Jake was on her in a heartbeat, his shadow falling over the table. "Where is it?" he snarled, his voice a low threat. "The map Pete had, the gold claim. He wouldn't die without passing it on. Hand it over." His hand rested on the butt of his pistol, a silent promise of violence. Sarah's heart hammered against her ribs, but her mind raced faster. She fumbled in her apron pocket and pulled out a different piece of crumpled paper. "Map? You mean this?" she asked, letting a slight tremble enter her voice. "Pete asked me to draw directions to Widow Miller's place. Said he owed her some money." She held out the worthless scrap, a child's drawing of the town streets. Jake snatched it. His eyes narrowed, suspicion fighting a war with raw greed. It looked plausible enough. Maybe the gold was near the widow's land. That thought was all it took. He shot Sarah one last menacing glare and stormed out, chasing a phantom fortune across town. Later that night, in the quiet of her small room above the saloon, Sarah carefully unfolded Pete's real map. It wasn't a map to a gold mine at all. It led to a loose floorboard right there, under her own bed, the very room Pete used to rent. Prying it open, she found not glittering nuggets, but a thick, worn stack of dollar bills. Pete's entire life savings. Tucked inside the roll was a small black book filled with names. People from right there in town. The grocer, the blacksmith, even Widow Miller. Small, honest debts. Over the next week, a quiet miracle happened. Anonymous payments started showing up all over town. The grocer's bill was settled. The blacksmith's slate wiped clean. Widow Miller found enough cash tucked in her woodpile to see her through the winter. Burdens were lifted, and no one knew how. Only Sarah knew. She looked at Pete's now empty map, and then out at the town he'd quietly saved, even in death. It just goes to show sometimes the real treasure isn't buried out in the hills. Sometimes it's hidden right under your feet, waiting for a kind hand to share it. If you enjoyed this story, you'll find more hidden gems in our other videos. Be sure to subscribe to Frontier Minutes for more short tales from the Old West. Thanks for watching.